and I'm from Temple of Balance, and I'm here to, host our Patreon healing, our personal healing event for some of my Temple of Balance patrons. So, welcome. I trust that you're well and that things are flowing well for you at this time. Thank you so much for joining me. So, I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia. And this week, or this month actually, we have 5 people on our healing list today. So I've written your names on a piece of paper and you're in this little pot. So I'll be pulling from that pot as we progress throughout our healing session and journey today. So if you do want to be on the healing list, then you can't be on the healing list now for this month, unless you already are. Hi, Andrea. Yeah, thank you. Welcome. But you can be a part of next month's the May healing event. It always happens towards the end of each month. So if you're not on the list or you're waiting for your connection or your turn, let's say, I do trust that something that's shared might support you and might be helpful for you. So something that's in someone else's guidance and someone else's connection. So be open to listening to what you need at this time and let everything else go. So the way I tune in is I tune in by imagining that I'm you, which sounds really crazy, but it works for me. So I know my energy really well. Hi, Nikki. I know my energy really well, so I know how I always and typically feel and am, that configuration of myself. So when I'm tuning into someone, I noticed very early on that I start feeling different things that I don't usually feel, that I know is not part of my usual configuration. And then as soon as that connection ends, as soon as I finish that, then that sensation or that thing that I'm feeling moves away. So a part of me and the way that I personally connect is I do imagine that I'm you, because I start feeling things in my body that are loud in your energy. So as I tune in, I'm going to be looking for, actually I won't need to look at all, because the things that are the loudest in your vibration as I connect, they're going to be the things that speak to me first. So as we work through those things, then I'll kind of lead and guide and direct the journey to where it needs to go. I'll be paying close attention to everything, and hopefully will help support you. So, okay, I think we're ready to get started. So we've got 5 people on the list today, and the first person is this person. It's KantiDevi. So KantiDevi, please take a nice big breath, and I forgot to say too, I'm going to start each connection with a healing energy card, and I'm going to finish each connection with a healing energy card. That's part of my tuning in and part of my tuning out. So it's a bit symbolic for me, is using the cards. So Kanti, please take a nice big breath. Okay, let's see what you need during this connection today. Okay, I forgot to bring my cup of tea in. Oh well. For some reason I just remembered. Probably because there's energy moving straight away in your throat here, Kanti, that I can feel straight away as soon as I tune in. And the healing energy card to start your healing journey off is this card 108, called Priority. So priority, as you change, your priorities change. Focus, organize, reprioritize things, schedule, self-awareness, know when to proceed, time, and the importance of things, and working that priority, that balance out, is your card. Okay, so as now I've got the card out here and I'm tuning in further to your energy, Kanti, I'm really being drawn here to your throat chakras. There's a lot of energy shifting here in the let's say the upper part of your throat, but I'm also feeling a deep pull and movement happening deeper in your throat. So it feels like if your throat chakra was, say, a sphere, we've got sort of the upper area and then the lower area, which is pulling down towards the heart, we could say. So the energy is shifting at the surface, but it's also shifting, and that surface energy is moving energy deep in your throat as well. So your throat chakra is your center for communication, expression, and truth. and feeling safe to speak your truth and feeling safe to be who you are. And as you're working out who you are and you're working out your truth and you're letting old beliefs go, this also shifts and stirs energy here in your throat. So there's a confidence that wants to come out. I can feel a confidence that wants to come out in your with your words at this time, Kanti. So it's like the confidence rises from underneath the throat, and I would say that it would come up from the solar plexus chakra, which is just above your navel. This is your power center. And I feel a confidence wants to rise up from your power center, up through your heart. So filters through your heart to make sure that the power is balanced and the power is honest and the power is fair, and it's not sort of manipulating or controlling power, but it sort of rises up and filters through your heart. And it's a strange thing. It's a bit like maybe pushing something through a sieve. So the power wants to rise up and it wants to push through the sieve of your heart that determines or aligns it with your heart center and your heart's truth, to make sure the power is balanced. And that then pushes up through the filter that's straining through your heart and pushes up deep into your throat. And this is what I'm feeling right deep down inside your throat chakra, is this push up of confidence that wants to come in. And it does feel like that word confidence probably describes this energy quite well in regards to the other strength words that I could use. You know, I could say strength to your words, courage to your words, power, I guess, might be another one. But confidence is the one that sort of really resonates here with what I'm feeling, that's pushing up and pulling up through here. And it wants to come up and then move through like a flower that wants to blossom and open. And it feels like a rich red velvet flower. Perhaps not a rose, but something similar. Something perhaps similar to a rose, but not so layered as a rose. It's a bit more open, maybe a little bit more like a poppy, or a cross, or a sort of a bridge between a rose and a poppy. I don't know my flowers that well to be able to say like this or like that, but it sort of feels like it's in between, not quite so sparse as a poppy, but not quite so layered as a rose. And it wants to push up and open through here. So it actually wants to open and reveal the yellow center. It feels like it has a yellow center, and this is the confidence. So this is the power that's rising up, filtered through your heart. And as the flower, as the flower opens, it reveals this yellow center, that confidence, that strength that you're bringing up into your truth and your words and your communications as it opens. Now, the redness of this is talking about, I feel like a groundedness in your words and in the confidence of what you have to say. But it also feels like it's probably very physical related, so very related to your physical body, your physical life, and the things you're going through on a physical, everyday kind of level. It doesn't feel necessarily like spiritual talk, let's say. It feels very physical, you know, like very physical, everyday stuff, very practical, that is really wanting to blossom, and has perhaps really tested you too in these last months, to really test physicality and how you can strengthen that and then let it blossom, let it open, let it grow through that power center of your throat. So through your truth and through the essence, the core of who you are. So this is really super strong. Now, as this flower fully blossoms and opens up here, and that yellow center is sitting there just nice and quiet in some ways, but still present in the background. It's not vocal, it's not dominant, it's not manipulative, it's just there. It's just there, like the sun. It's just there, and it has these qualities, but I feel like there's a consistency to the quality of the center. But as this flower fully opens, it pushes the energy up through that area of your throat and right up to the surface of your throat. And then coming out from the surface of your throat and then out through your mouth, and probably through your nose a bit, but especially through your mouth, it's like really subtle little gases and the scent of the flower, and so there's gases that feel that they're sort of leaving and releasing through your throat and through your mouth. And these feel like things that have been clouding your judgment perhaps lately, things that have been fogging you, or things that have been covering up or distracting you from who you really are, or distracting you from your truth. So these little gases, and I say little because it just feels like a few little fumes that are coming out through your mouth from the opening of this flower, but at the same time, or pushing from behind, is this scent, like almost a taste, but a scent. You know, sometimes you can taste scents, as in the SCENTS, scent, like a perfume scent. So there's a taste and a scent that's moving out now through your throat, and just really subtly and really beautifully just kind of moving out with your words. And it feels in some way magical. It feels quite mystical and quite beautiful. There's a mysterious element to this, but it feels good. It feels natural, and it feels very much aligned with that confidence in your truth, and confidence in your words, and confidence in your ability to listen, because it's not just about the words that you speak, it's also about what you're listening to, and what you're really paying attention to is connected with communication. So what you have to say is important, and what others have to say to you that you're listening to is also important. And tapping into that, I feel, is where your power is right now. So let's grab a card and see what this wants to add here, Kanti. It feels quite intricate, quite delicate, quite detailed, quite specific on this area at this time. So the best card to add here, Kanti, is this Healing Energy Cards number 1. And it's Heaven on Earth. Well, this is funny. She had this yesterday in your reading. I'm quite sure. Yes, card 44, Heaven on Earth. It's in the depth category, and the priority card is in the depth category as well. So depth, you're being called deeper, especially deeper into your truth, deeper into your confidence. It says balance, depth of meaning, coming together, bringing the formless into form, love, access higher frequencies, living it, being it, and union. So this is bringing those higher energies with the lower energies of the physical, the higher energies of the spiritual together, and that these connect or move through the conduit of the heart and the conduit of the body, but especially in this moment, the conduit of your truth. And the truth feels in some ways like it anchors, or is like a, what do you call those points? It's like, you know, the point on a compass, the very center point that the compass little thing, it swings from that little center point. That's what it feels like. It feels like your truth is that like pin that pins, keeps the compass dial thing, little thingy, I don't know what it's called, the little arm of the compass, it keeps it pinned in position. Otherwise, if that pin wasn't there, then we'd have no way of determining the direction of what the compass is expressing. So your truth is the pin, and it feels like it pins this vertical connection between spirit or heaven and earth and the physical. And your truth now is that sort of, that area that pins you to that connection, and helps, perhaps even like the compass, maybe also even helps you determine your direction. And maybe it's clearer when you're more aligned with and feeling confident in your truth. So Heaven on Earth is your last card there. Surprise, surprise, Kanti. Thank you so much. Thanks for your support, and I trust this resonates. Namaste. Okay, next person is this person. It's Susan Sonsteng. Susan, please take a nice big breath, and let's see what comes up for you today. Okay, there's a, first of all, I'm feeling a restless legs energy. It feels there's a restlessness, I feel, that's coming through the legs with movement or life or action or something like this, but we'll talk more about it in a minute if it's still strong. We've got this card for you, Susan, to start with. New Life, card 36. It's also in the depth category. And this is about letting the new beginnings come in and that they actually start from within you. So it's like let the new grow within you. So, you know, and sometimes it's the case, but sometimes the new beginnings come from outside of us. But there are some new beginnings that actually start from within us. And this is a within new life, a within new beginnings. There's a lot of butterflies here, a lot of transformation and growth, and also a lot of I's. So this is connecting with your essence. I feel your I am. Bring your dreams to life, growth, support, a new, fresh, new start. Okay, that's interesting. So I am being drawn back down to your legs. And when I first connected, Susan, or as I was connecting at the very beginning, I felt like this restless leg energy, probably from just above the kneecaps down. Now, as I've talked about that card and have tuned in deeper, I'm feeling actually this restless leg energy. It feels restless through here, is now coming from just below the hips and down both legs. And it feels strange, but it feels like your feet aren't really joined to your legs. So it's like that. In this case, they're not pinned in. They feel dangly, like they've got the bones inside, but the ankle part feels like it's not connected somehow. So it's like the skin's still joined, but the ankle itself is restless and a bit sort of puppet-like here from the hips down. So the legs tend to be about movement in our life, taking action. Also, they tend to be about grounding, tend to be about making the steps that we need to make forward in our life. So there's probably something that feels a bit uncertain or a bit unsettled in this particular area. And so what I want to do, I want to come down from above. So we're starting at the top of the hips, and I want to come through and almost like reinforce your bones somehow. It sounds weird, but I just want to reinforce the straightness and the connection points, like the hips, the knees, the ankles, those main sort of points here. I want to reinforce those to strengthen and give more of a pillar feeling to your legs from the hips down, rather than a dangly puppet on a string. And it does feel like a puppet on a string sort of thing, but with really dangly feet that just aren't joined to at the ankles. So you might have been feeling really quite ungrounded lately, and a bit like you're not really fully in your body of late, Susan. A bit maybe in your head space, it could be that as well, but really not down in your body as much as you could be. So probably not really feeling that grounded or that present, and time might be really flying, and you might be finding it hard to grip things in your life or get a grasp or a hold of things because things feel a bit fleeting somehow. So I'm coming down from above, and it sounds a bit weird, but I'm just going to go with it. I feel like I want to sort of comb over your bones from the hips down to your knees with my hands, but like we're smoothing and activating and stimulating, we could say, the bones themselves and the energy there that keeps that part of your body straight and connected. And then moving down from doing both legs at the same time, down from your knees down to your ankles, and doing the same thing, and just kind of combing through this area of your body. So almost like a massage or just stroking through, but it feels like it's right down to the bones. And then from your ankle to the bottom of your foot, so doing the same thing. So just sort of straightening and in some ways pulling too, and just sort of stretching and straightening these things. Like, it reminds me a bit of clay actually, like as the clay's firming up, you're kind of straightening it and straightening it. And then as it dries, it might kink a bit, so you're just straightening it. So that's sort of how it feels. And now going back to the joints. So I actually want to start at your knees, and it feels like a ball of bone, like a ball bearing here in your knee. So just kind of enforcing that ball, and then making sure the two sides are kind of fixed in some ways, or fused, or not really fused or fixed, join the lower part of your leg at the knee, which feels like quite a large ball, like a large ball bearing of bone. So that's how it feels at the moment. It's just so that you can move. You've got flexibility to move and shift your direction as needed as well, because there's a sense here with your knees that if you need to adapt to a situation, or you need to shift directions quickly, that you can do that through this energy here at your knees. So it creates an adaptability, or helps align you with a more of an adaptable sort of energy. And now down at your ankles, which is certainly feels to me like a problematic area, energetically at least, I want to come in here now with like a triangular wedge. So at your knees it was very sphere and round, but at your ankles it feels like a wedge, and it's like a wedge of bone, a wedge of calcium that and it feels like the upper part of the wedge, so an upper part here is joining to your lower leg, and the lower part that's triangular, because it feels sort of flat on one side, yeah, so flat like the bottom of the foot, and then it's up. So the shorter side of this triangle, or this wedge, is joined to your upper the bottom part of your leg, and then the longer part of the triangle part is connecting in with your feet. And these are, because they're triangular, it feels like they can move up into these areas and down into these areas and have a better connection. And there's something very grounded about this feeling. So the roundness of the knees feels like it's more about adaptability and moving in direction when called or in the spur of the moment. Whereas this wedge feeling here is about grounding and confidently and trusting the steps that you take in your life. So wherever you plant your foot and your leg sort of carries through, then that carries through into your body, that this is a confident, strong, sure, trusting step. So there is a flat-footed but something very stable about the steps that you're taking forward at this time. And now coming up to your hips here, and your hips feel already like they're joined. That feels totally fine. So just reinforcing this area now. So just sort of I feel like I want to bring light in, a white creamy colored light just into your hip area to help you make your steps that you need to take forward. So nice big breath, and now I just feel this wash of energy coming over you. It feels to be like a light blue. It's washing over you from above. Excuse me. And it's coming down your whole body and then down over your legs, just to help fuse this energy in place. So I trust this resonates with you, Susan. Let's grab a card here to see what this wants to add as we finish up. So your best card for now, Susan, as we tie this up, is Healing Energy Cards Deck 2. And it's this. Okay, this is interesting. I haven't had this card up very often. It's number 84. It's called Large and Looming, and it's in the rest category. Down here it says, the scale of something may seem overwhelming. Intensity, step out of your comfort zone, practice, get the task complete. Conquer this, hard work and commitment. There is a feeling here that something might feel or seem a bit large and looming, and this may be why your legs have gone to jelly before. But if you can work with the strengthening that we've just done, and well, it is really a strengthening in connections that we've just done with your legs and the representations that these have, I feel that this will help give you perspective on whatever's been feeling like it's large and looming and perhaps overwhelming and quite scary at this time. So things may not be as they appear. The scale may be a bit warped at this time. So thanks so much, Susan. I trust this supports you. Thanks for your support. Namaste. Okay, next, let's see. I'll pop these cards back. We have 3 more people on the list, and the next person is Nicki Excellent. Nikki's new. Welcome, Nikki, and it's lovely to connect with you in this way. Take a nice big breath and let's see what's loudest in your energy at this time. So the first thing I'm picking up is energy moving around your belly. So especially low in your belly, around your womb, which is your sacral chakra. This is your center for emotional, sexual, and creative energies. And there's something shifting in here. It's also feeling a little bloated, so there might be some bottled up emotion that we need to look at. But I'll grab a card and then we'll see where we want to go. This is also moving around to your lower back as well. So let's just keep that in mind and we'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, card 91 is your card to begin with. It's called Ruin. It says rebuild in new and improved ways. Rise up from the ashes. It's a lot like the Phoenix, this card. It says create something better than before. And it almost feels like it's up to you now to create something better than before. Almost like it wasn't you that could, in some ways you didn't have the ability or perhaps the means or something to create part of your life before. Maybe you were subject to other people creating your life for you. You know, it's a bit like when we're a child. When we're a child, we kind of live out the dreams of our parents or our guardians or whoever. And then as we become more independent, we're sort of working out how do we want to create our life. And there's this feeling that this is an opportunity for you to create something better than before. Be dedicated, commit, and create some new memories. So from ruins to wonder. So this has a phoenix feel, but it's also very structural. So it's talking about the foundations of your life and really building some new things with your life and out of your life, maybe as an opportunity that you've got now that maybe you haven't really had in the past or at various times in the past. Okay, so as I'm talking about this, there's a strength that's coming in, like a focus and almost an ability to tap into your purpose or a feeling of purpose. Like, yes, this is what I'm trying to do, and there's something really boosting of your power, boosting in your strength and your ability to focus that comes with this. So this is really good. So there's an uplifting, strong feeling that wants to come in. But I can't help but be drawn back to your belly. So let's do some shifting. We've got some old bottled emotion that's stored up in here. There's a nauseous feeling that's coming up. So this is showing me that on an energetic level, you're ready to release this stuff. You're ready to undo these little vials of emotion from your past that you have stacked up in your belly. And it looks to me like the old milk bottles, but they're not all that size. They're actually probably about half the size, maybe like a cream bottle, an old cream bottle, but they're like, it's like stacked up milk bottles, like glass. It feels like it's made of glass. So that brings a fragility to this energy, you know, like what you've had bottled away is probably quite fragile. You're quite fragile too, or quite sensitive too, but it feels like it's filled with milk. But the milk is representing these old emotions that have been bottled up. And that it's all these little glass vials, these glass little cream or milk bottles, all gathered up here in your belly. And it's not just in the front of your belly. I can feel them coming around to your lower back. And your lower back is also part of your sacral chakra, just below your navel. It kind of goes around in a zone that includes your lower back. But the back energy definitely connects with the past. So there's old emotional stuff that you're perhaps quite sensitive to from your past that have been stored in your belly and all the way around into your lower back. Also, I feel a few going around here on your hips. I mean, it's jam-packed with bottles. I mean, you couldn't even fit another bottle in here. It's so jam-packed, but it almost feels like these things are neatly packed away too. So it might be a way that you have coped in the past or have made sense of things in the past, that you've packed things away in some neatly packaged little glass bottle, because usually the energy that's stored in here is just kind of unruly, and it might be more like a washing machine or a pool of water or a big balloon full of water. It's not usually so neatly packaged in all these really consistent and similar looking little glass bottles. So I just want to bring that up. That might be important, but I feel like we need to get these out and The energy is certainly lifting up. So the nauseous feeling now, oh, I'm so sorry, Nikki. That nauseous feeling now that was moving up before, that felt like sickly, this is the energy that wants to move out of your belly. It's now turning into a bit of an asthma feeling, and it's a bit hard to breathe. So that tells me this energy too has been suffocating or closing in. I like those words in regards to how I'm feeling. Closing in on your heart. So the nauseous feelings becoming like an asthma, and this energy, you know, like it's hard to breathe. This energy wants to come out. So there's a suffocated, suppressed feeling here as well, but it's something here that sits very, very close to your heart. And what I want to do, it might sound weird, but I'm just going to do it energetically. I want to duck my hand down through your mouth, down your throat, down your body, down to your belly, and I want to start pulling out these bottles of milk. Yeah, so that would certainly probably connect or be sourced from the mother energy, as the milk is connected to our mother figure, or our actual mother. So pulling these bottles out, and I'm actually grabbing 3 or 4 at a time. They feel fairly small. So just grabbing them all and letting them go. Now, as I sort of flick them away, they're dropping down to the earth where they shatter. They're not shattering as much as I would have thought. They're kind of just like a bit of crockery breaking down, rather than glass, fine glass that's just spreading for miles. It's more like crockery as it's breaking down. And then the little milk, it's only small amounts of milk as it's breaking. I thought there would have been more. So that's interesting. That's also just sort of breaking open. So as this stuff's been released and broken outside and thrown down to the earth, it's soaking back into the earth and returning back to love and just back to energy, which is what it is. And before, it was energy in the form of something like bottled up emotion, simply, but more complex than that, but in its simplest form. And as we release it and move it and let it go, and release, release and let that go, we transform it back to energy. So it's no longer in the form of what it was before. So just now getting the last of these bottles out and chucking right into the back of your lower back to get the real deep, dark ones out. And there's some deep, dark ones here, almost like skeletons in the closet sort of feeling. And just gathering those. This feels like the milk has really gone off and sour. And in fact, there's a blackness to these parts. So just clearing those out too and letting them go. And now there's this space that's been created in your sacral chakra. It's like a cave of sorts. And in fact, it's a bit of a cave shape as well. And there's space. It may feel a bit empty inside for a little bit as you get accustomed to this new feeling. But it does feel like there's space now that's coming up or presenting itself or available to you. And I'm drawn back to your card, Ruins to Wonder. This is space in your life, room in your life to rebuild in new and improved ways, to create something better than before. It's hard to create something better than before if you're building it on the foundations of really fragile bottles, glass bottles. So it almost feels the foundations, like the foundations of who you thought yourself to be and who you've built yourself up to be in your life and how you've created your life to be, has been quite unstable because it feels like it's generally been built on the foundations of these glass bottles. So with those gone now, it's like now you've got space to create a new foundation for yourself. And this feels really inspiring. You know, what foundation do you want to create for yourself now? Do you want to create it now on something new, something that you've learned, a strength that you've gathered or grown from since your hurts from the past? What has been your lesson, the wisdom that you've gained from this? How have you become a better person because of what you've been through? Have you decided that you're not going to treat people a certain way because you didn't like how you were treated in the past? These sorts of things help create your identity and who you are. And these feel like a good foundation perhaps to start with. So your energy feels good and clear, and the energy is still moving up. So there's still energy that's moving and releasing through your sacral chakra and these upper energies, and also through your heart and your lungs and the things you've taken on there over the years. So that's also lifting up. It feels a bit more like steam that's lifting up through your body. So just continuing to let that release over the coming time period that's needed. And let's grab another card to see what this wants to add here for you, Nikki. So just be nice and gentle with yourself over the next few days especially. And let's see what you've got here. So the best card to add at this point is this Healing Energy cards number 2. And it's this. Oh, I love this card. And it's rarely come up since I've got my new cards. It's card 67, Emotional Rebirth. And this is really perfect for all the emotional releasing we've just done of that stuff that's been bottled up. It's in the action category. So there's a lot of energy that wants to move here. Lots of change that wants to take place and lots of healing. And this is quite exciting because it shows that you're ready. So these are like fern fronds. You know, when fern fronds first open up in spring, and they're amazing how they just kind of are all curled up in this tight curl, this tight spiral, and then they open up and reveal the fern frond. And that's what inspired this. And it says a new level of feeling. This is perfect. Allow how you feel about something or someone to change, including, we could say, about your past. Emotional transformation. You are much more than the wounds that you've had bottled up and the hurt that's been done to you in the past. Flow, maturity, a new perspective, especially on an emotional level. So this is huge, and this is just showing the beautiful transformation that's underway now within you, Nikki. Thank you so much. I trust this resonates and supports you, and thank you so much for your support. Namaste. Okay, let's see who's next. We have 2 more people on the list. Hi, Andrea. Thank you. It's lovely to have you here. And we've got number 4. Next person is Andrea. Andrea Stuart. I don't know if you're still here, Andrea, but please take a nice big breath. And let's see what comes up for you and what's loudest in your energy today. Feels like things are twisting and turning. Thanks, Nikki. Feels like things are twisting and turning. Great. Let's grab a card here. The best card for you, Andrea, as we start is this one. Healing Energy cards number 2 deck. Card 87, Incoming Clarity. It's also in the Rise category. And it says, a new level of thinking. Open your mind, be patient. Clarity is coming. Trust in perfect timing. Creative thinking, remain curious, and positivity. So clarity is coming, and this is always a relief to know, and certainly a relief when it comes. So what I'm feeling is this twisting and turning energy, and it feels like this twisting that's happening in your body, which is not something I can recall feeling before. So this is sort of a new thing for me too as I'm tuning in. Feels like you're pivoting from the hips and also pivoting a bit too from the waist. So the waist is aligned with your solar plexus chakra. There's a twisting and turning, twisting and turning. So it just feels like twisting in the body, but it feels like twists and turns, and there might be twists and turns happening in your life at this time that you're trying to navigate and you're trying to twist and turn with. This way twisting, that way turning, that sort of feeling here. And it does feel like arms out just a bit, almost ready to grasp, ready to go, and then something changes or something twists, something turns. So there is I want to use the word uncertainty, but I feel like there's a better word that can be used here. Not that any better one is coming to mind right now. So I'll probably just use uncertainty until there's something better and clearer that's coming. But it feels like, it feels like there's something hard to grasp, something hard to get hold of. And I want to get hold of it over here, and then I want to twist and get hold of it over there. But I can't get hold of it. But I also can't see it. And I don't know what it is that I'm trying to get hold of. So it's just like trying to grab something that's not actually there. So just be careful that you're not thinking that there's something that you need that you actually don't. Or maybe you're not clear on what it is you need yet. There's something a bit mysterious about this energy, almost like it's a game. So just be careful that you're not being pulled into some game of twists and turns and trying to grab hold of this and grab hold of that. It almost feels like a game, like there's someone external or an external energy that's putting this toy here, and you go to grasp it, then they pull it away, and then they put it over there, and then you've got to turn and you go for over there, you know, a ball or something. And so it feels like there's some game. Be careful that you're not being pulled into the game, and set things straight. So what I want to do is actually bring the energy straight here and stop the twisting and turning and stop the game, because it just feels pointless, this game. It doesn't feel of any benefit. It just feels confusing. So I just want to bring everything together here and bring things focused here in center instead of here and there. Let's get on track and let's get focused on the truth and focus on what is possible and what is doable, and the opposite of the game, basically. So when you're not playing the game, and I feel like I just want to have my head like it is now, slightly down focused, and I just almost want to clap my hands together and just hold here, hold fixed, because the game, and whoever's playing the game, whoever's manipulating here, it could be a person, it could be an institution, it feels like something external. They're going to want to try and keep enticing you into the game. So you've got to be strong it's almost like holding in prayer in some ways, but there's a strength here of holding center and just holding focused, and just let whoever's trying to stimulate this game, just let them stop and move into the background, and then you'll be able to look up and proceed forward. It feels very strange. So holding position in center, not playing the game. Don't play the game now. The game is not getting you anywhere. And in fact, I see you now, like as I close my eyes, in my mind's eye, I see you holding what looks to be like a bow and arrow, and you're getting ready to arm yourself in some ways to shoot this arrow forward. And this is the clarity. This is the clarity that you're shooting forward. This is the certainty in some ways, the clarity that it needs to come from inside you when you've stopped playing the game. And the game could just be distractions as well. That might be part of what's been going on. But this bringing things, consolidating things and focusing, and then sending forth this clarity and your clear intention from this bow and arrow that you're holding. It comes from inside you. So don't underestimate your power, but also your ability to move forward. I mean, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. So don't doubt in yourself. Just reconsolidate. Don't play the game. Say no if you need to. And then shoot for whatever you're going for. Shoot from your heart. Be careful you're not waiting on these external things that are very much a game. It's probably not going to amount to much. You might have had people, for example, you could have had someone giving you the runaround on something they've promised. And the runaround just continues, and it's been going on for, say, 6 months or an extended period, and still nothing's happening. So are you going to keep playing the game, which is their evidence is that they're not really doing anything? These people that have promised to help you, if this is relevant, but this is just another example of looking at this. Are you going to keep playing the game with them, or are you going to take your power back and start shooting your clarity, your intentions, your goals from within yourself and your abilities? Because you have a lot of ability, you have a lot of, I want to say, self-sufficiency as well, which is a strength that can sort of springboard you forward. So that's what I'm feeling coming in, Andrea. I trust this resonates. It's a bit, I mean, it's so loud. It's a bit sort of confusing to me. It doesn't make much sense to me. But it doesn't need to make sense to me as long as it makes some sense to you. But, and this is probably what the incoming clarity is too, a new level of thinking. Open your mind. Yeah, so get out of that game. Be patient. Trust in perfect timing. Creative thinking. So think of things in a new way, in a creative way that supports you. Remain curious and positivity. Okay, let's see which card wants to add here for you, Andrea. And the best card is this here. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Thanks, Andrea. Your card is this. Okay, this is interesting to throw in here. It's card 17, Time Tunnels. And it's in the action category. Down here it says, lessons from your past can unlock your potential future. Karmic healing. Fear of the unknown. Allow time to heal. Courage, wisdom, and freedom. There's a feeling here that this game, it's happened before. So the distraction or whatever this is representing for you in your life, I feel like something similar has happened before and not just once. There's a kind of a bit of a feeling here to have been taken advantage of. And there's certainly a manipulative feeling here, but a game playing and I don't know if it's ill intentions, but I just think some people just don't follow through with what they say. But I can't help but feel with this card that this is a pattern, and actually that this has happened before, that it may have been a different person or a different scenario, a different time, and it hasn't happened only just once. It's not just once that this has happened. It's happened before on in multiple ways by the feel of it here. So as you break your pattern of connection to the game or the distraction or whatever that is, and you hone in and you consolidate and you focus on your abilities and how you can help yourself move forward. And that really is key, isn't it? How you can help yourself move forward and your loved ones as well. We can add into that. I feel like as you're doing that, you're breaking the patterns of this repeating itself in your life. So I can't help but feel that this has happened before. So it might be worth looking in your or exploring in your journal or what this is to start with, or what this game represents to you, this game energy. When has something similar happened before that you felt a similar way? And what was the feeling then? How did you resolve it? And maybe how can you deal with that a little differently this time, so you can break that pattern and not feel that you have to rely on these manipulators to help you when they don't seem to show that they can. So there is to me, if that was happening to me, I wouldn't be trusting in what people are saying or this particular situation, because there's not showing results. There's no real practical assistance that's happening, let's say. So I trust this makes sense. Thanks so much, Andrea. Thanks for your support and sending you lots of love. Okay, so that means our last connection for the day. Thank you. Thanks, Andrea. Our last connection is with Carol. So before I connect with Carol, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you would love to be a part of this personal healing event next month, then please have a look on my Patreon. You can find the link in the video description. It's the $50 level or higher will give you access to this automatically. You can join for the month, you can join for a few months, you can come and go, you can stay long term, whatever works and resonates with you is perfectly fine, and I'm absolutely happy with. So if you want to try it out next month, please check it out on my Patreon. And I want to thank you so much for joining me. So last person, lucky last and not least, Carol White. Carol, please take a nice big breath and let's see what is loudest in your energy today. So your best healing energy card to get this started is this here. Hello again. We have new life. New life in the depth category. It says nurture. In fact, I didn't read it last time, so I will read it anyway now. But it says nurture the new as it grows within you. Your ideas that you're seeding, your plans that you're brewing, your inspirations that are coming. Nurture these things. Give them time and space and thought to be able to grow into something. If they're going to be worth growing into anything. Some ideas we have become weeds and we just need to get some of those things out, but some will turn into the most beautiful thing we could even have imagined, more than what we could have even imagined. So nurture the new as it grows inside you. Bring your dreams to life. Focus, nourishment, a fresh new start. Transform, growth, support, balance, and life. New life. This is your new life, Carol. And it is your new life. I can feel that this is not just you turning a new chapter in your life. It's starting the next volume of your life. You know, if I could see your life on a shelf in books, and I almost feel like you're up to the 5th volume here. The 5th volume. So you've got the certain phases of your life, like important monumental phases that can kind of be grouped together, and they're in these volumes of your life, and you're now starting to write the 5th volume of your life. It's your new life, and it feels a little scary in some ways, but scary is not even the best word. It may be slightly daunting, slightly anxious about what this new volume is going to look like, but at the same time you can refer back to the other volumes, and this feels like, oh yes, of course, why didn't I think of that? You know, sometimes we think we start something new and we think, oh my gosh, I'm starting from scratch, this is like the first day of school all over again. But what we forget, and it just feels like a light bulb moment, what we forget sometimes is that we have got all of this experience from the past, and in your case, Carol, say 4 other volumes of books of life for you, and some of them are thick. You know, you've got 2 of these volumes that are really thick volumes. They are full of stuff that you've learned and stuff that you've done. So what you're going into now in this new volume, you can take from or learn from or bring forward from those other volumes of your past into writing this next volume of your life. And there is something really inspiring about that. So maybe reflect on your life. Remember how you started before. Remember the pros and the cons or whatever it was, and that's going to help you sort of get this next volume started. I feel like you've been in between the volumes for these last few months, and especially the last 3 months is what I feel is like you've been closing the old volume, the back cover of that, and you've been opening the next volume and really working out what you want this volume, this 5th volume to contain. And you know, by the time you get to the 5th volume, you're quite wise and mature, and you know your stuff by the time you get here. So there is a maturity and a wisdom that comes with you moving into this 5th volume that feels it feels very much like a monarchy sort of feeling here, like the king and queen kind of feeling. So you know, looking over the kingdom, or working out your plan to help more people as you move forward into this volume. So that's interesting. So let's just now tune into your body. I shouldn't say get into your body, it sounds a bit weird. So we're just going to tune into your body just a little deeper now. And I feel like your heart feels like it's out from your body right now, which is weird. It feels like this really slim, slender heart, like the shape of a heart, but it's really slim and slender, really sensual and slender looking, you know, like a female figure sort of, but this heart shape. But it seems like it's out of your heart right now. It feels like it's pinned, or it's not even pinned actually, it's hovering here in the front of your heart. Now it feels slender and sensual and beautiful, this heart, and it feels like it's okay that it's out here. I'm curious as to why, but maybe it's your heart open now. Maybe it's you're wearing your heart on your sleeve a little more than you did before. Maybe you've softened in some ways that you weren't perhaps in previous volumes of your life, where maybe your heart was hard and encased because that's how you needed it to be, so you could get through the things that you went through in your past. But there is this feeling that this last volume, why do I say it's the last volume? I feel like this is the last volume, that you're starting this, almost like this final volume, this 5th volume. That's weird. And it feels like it's starting here with a really open heart, and a heart that has jumped out of the cavity of your chest, of your rib cage, let's say, is jumped out, and it's here out in the open air now. And you might find that you've let this part of yourself, your deep innards, your deepness of your heart, come out more than you have in the past and in previous chapters of your life. So it feels soft pink. It feels very loving and nurturing. And I just want to gently bring it now back into your chest. It just feels like it needs to come back here, even though it feels okay out there. I just feel like I want to bring it in. It feels delicate, a bit like it's made of a bubble. So it's made of a bubble, and I just want to just really gently guide it back in to your heart. And your heart, it takes it, it fits into your heart cavity just perfectly. It's like a piece of a puzzle coming together. And it just fits and locks into place there, this bubble-like heart. So it doesn't feel fragile like I could pop it, but it just feels very delicate, like butterfly wings. So that just locks into place here. And now it's like your heart, your chest, your ribs, the covering of your heart feels like it's glass. So it feels like your heart is open, but it's also, in some ways, just kept a little bit safe here behind this glass. But not hiding behind it. It's still viewable and it's still visible through this glass. So this feels really good. And there's a release of burden that you've been carrying over your shoulders. I feel like a relief feeling here in your shoulders as burdens have released. And it feels good. Feels good, Carol. I feel like you're in a good place. And you're in a really good place to write and figure out what you want in this 5th volume of your life. So there's a lot of calm that's coming in now. Just letting things settle and letting things be and finding peace with things that maybe you didn't have or feel peace with before. So take a nice big breath, Carol. Let's grab a card to add here and see what this wants to add. So the best card to finish this connection off is, we'll go with this one. Healing Energy cards, number 2, deck 2. Oh, yes. Yes, this is card 80, Offering. It's in the rest category. And, you know, this is not dissimilar to how I felt that love heart, that slender, beautiful shaped heart, just here outside of your chest and then moving in. It felt soft like this. This is a really beautiful representation of that energy. It says here love, blessings, relationships, support, gentleness, softening harsh situations. Accept the offering and do the offering. There's a balance of giving and receiving that's coming in with the heart. Opening, gift, blessing, and beauty. This is perfect. So this is accepting the blessings, and you are the blessing at the same time. So it's like a receiving and a giving. You are the blessing and do the offering, isn't it? That's beautiful. This is just perfect. Cool. Thanks, Carol. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support, and I trust this supports you and resonates. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I'll be back again towards the end of next month for our personal healing event, and I'll be back in a couple of days. Sunday? No. Maybe Sunday? Yeah, I think it might be Sunday. Anyway, Sunday the 30th. I'll be back for the healing list event, so I look forward to connecting with some of you then. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.